the YouTube channel, of course, let's get the lesson. That's right, it's that time. So we're going over a game here. And this is the Jedi versus the Owens defense. So myself versus the Owens defense. And if you don't know what that is, you got to learn today. So it's a very weird opening. It's very kind of annoying to face if you don't know what you're doing. But my opponent here, this is a blitz game online here on chess.com, playing the game and going over some stuff, and pretty fun. So let me actually show you what happened. What the guy I played is FIDE Master. His rating was 2389 here. And it was an Owens defense game. So and with the Owens defense, I actually play e4. So you actually get it only kind of with e4. And black plays b6 out the opening. Out the opening, you getting this weird stuff. So it's like, what is this? So for the longest, actually, my cat found a golf ball. Thoroughly entertained and distracted right now. That's great. See, you know, something for everybody to do. I've never known what to do against this. Yes, this is very, very weird, honestly. So I go d4. Okay, he goes bishop to b7. Now, 90% of people, actually, what do you do here as white, guys? I'm going to show you, there's a Canty variation, and this is what I like to call it, because I just, like, not that I created it, like, oh, it's just, this is mine, but at the end of the day, like, I tried everything with the Owens defense, and then I started playing it this way, and it started to work. I even have a game that I won, that I analyzed, that's on the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. That I beat Simon Williams in a similar setup because he played a French defense that would look like an Owens defense. So I ended up beating Simon Williams with the Canty variation. So this is another game that FIDE Master goes down to the Canty variation here. Now with white to move, where do you actually go here? We have knight c3, bishop d3 is better. We have d5, d5 again from Razor Brand. I go f3, says Kowalski. f3. Well, here we go. I actually, what most people do is knight c3. This is what I used to do. Knight c3, and then they go e6, and then knight f3. Most times it's a natural move, and then bishop b4 happens. So this gets annoying. Now you got to worry, this is hanging. So now after bishop d3, oh, attack the center again. Then you're like, okay, well, how about, you know, e5? Then they bring the knight in. Now they're attacking you again. And then they make this solid, and it gets very, very annoying, honestly, quickly. And it's like, you know, people that know this stuff are very good, and it's it can be quite the nuisance to you when you're playing this with the white pieces. So very weird, very weird. I'm not a fan of it. Sometimes you have to play a3 out of the opening. Quite weird. This is the not the old way, but the standard way to play it. Most people do, and you fall right into the Owens defense kind of traps where they just get comfortable and dynamic positions very quickly. So this is what I do. The Canty variation starts with bishop to d3. Bishop d3, I defend the pawn. Now he goes e6. Hello, James. What's up, JMP? Welcome to the stream. He goes e6. e6 is here on the board. What do you do now with white? What do you do? I could have played knight c3. I could have did anything else, but I played bishop d3. Sam Collins says bishop d3 is the best in his books. In his book, yeah. I'm a big fan of this bishop d3 move. f4 from V Miles, a very aggressive approach. f4, treat it like a reverse perk. So that would be like knight f3 and g3. So here we go. f4, I didn't play. This is what I played. This is what starts it. It's very different. And there's an intention to every move that we do here. You say bishop f3, I think you mean knight f3 or bishop e3. But there's an intention to this. Kowalski just got it right. It actually is knight to e2. Knight e2. This is where I go every single time. If I'm facing this opening or something similar, I start with bishop d3 and knight e2. So watch how this unfolds. I did this against Simon Williams. I did this against anyone. I don't care who you are. You play the Owens defense, you're going to get this right here because it's more flexible and people aren't used to seeing it if you are playing the Owens defense with black. So it's very intriguing to play it this way and watch how the pieces spring to life from this position. He goes knight to f6. I have to defend my e4 pawn. So how do I defend it? How do I defend my e4 pawn? Interesting line, bringing it to G3. Knight G3 is correct. You could. I mean, you could. F3, correct. Chess with Jeff. What's up, bro? F3 is what I play here. So now it's very solid. And now if he plays D5 right now, well, then I got E5 with tempo. And I don't have to worry about this. He can't swing in here. And it's like, it's pretty good. And then I can play F4 later on. Like, this stuff's strong. So I played F3. He goes C5. And what do you do after this, guys? Every move here is part of the Canty variation. Very quick game, actually, too. C5. Detroit Ron. What's up, Ron? Says knight C3. Detroit Ron says knight to C3. Knight C3. They talking about the B knight to C3. C3 from RDS 39. C3 from Bishop Peru. Chess with Jeff. Correct, guys. It's C3. It's C3. You want to remember this kind of structure here. There are C3 Sicilians that are very similar with where they have in the D6 variations of the C3 Sicilian. When they go C5 and D6 out the opening, I would usually go for this setup. Evgeny Sveshnikov likes this kind of play. And then Bishop E3 takes, knight C3, Queen D2, knight G2, castle, queenside G4. It gets crazy. That's how it usually goes. But this is kind of the same. Is that like in the French? Yes, correct. So after C3, I have a very solid center here, and I have not told my hand yet. So he don't know if I'm gonna play for D5, if I'm gonna play for E5. I know where I'm playing for 5. Like, I'm going to crush him on the king side. So let's see what happens. Where's fine go when you need him, right? F3. So C takes D4, C takes D4, knight to C6. Now, what do you do here as white, guys? Every move I'm gonna ask you this, because this gets very good here, and stuff that you need to know if you're gonna play this Canty variation. You're gonna have to play it a certain way, because there are certain little small things that get very, very annoying. Very, very annoying. Knight to C3 from Chess with Jeff. Nice, makes sense. Thanks, bro. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Ursa Daglu. Bishop G5 from Diaz. Bishop E3 from V Miles. Knight C3. You just said it's okay. Bishop E3. Bishop G5. These are not. I didn't move. Nope. You guys are all wrong. I did not make these moves, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so anything other than A3 is knight to B4. This bishop is such an asset to white's position that you need to get rid of it at all costs. Because once I play E5, I'm aiming at the king, and it's a wrap. It can be over very fast, very, very quickly. So you have to get rid of this. So if I do anything besides A3, he goes for the bishop, and then it takes a longer game. So what I did is I got rid of his stuff. A3, knight B4, or bishop B4 with tempo just to castle will never happen. And I get to keep my bishop, and when I'm ready to play E5, I'm ready to, and my bishop's a monster. So you play A3. Then he plays rook C8. I'm like, I don't really know what this does, honestly. Rook C8, you would only usually do this when you play a knight B4. But I'm like, well, maybe he's going for knight A5. And then knight to C4, but even then, it's like he's not threatening anything. So, quite different. Chess with Jeff says knight C3, knight B4, bishop B1. Idea A3 to come. That is correct. That actually could happen. But the problem with that sometimes is the bishop A6 in between. Sometimes that's like holding you, and it's just unnecessary pressure sometimes. So I'll just play A3 and just like don't allow any unnecessary pressure or room for error. Have a good day night, guys. 7:15 in the morning in France, going to work. See you later, Green. See you later, Mo. Have a good one today. Rich himself says castle. E5 from Rav94. So after rook C8, I actually did castle. I castled right here. It's time to castle. Okay, black plays D6. And then now Jeff, I go knight B to C3. He goes bishop E7, bishop E3. We just keep it simple with development here. Castles, and now we have castle. Pieces are developed. Now we start with my favorite part of the Canty variation here. This is where you put on the robe is the first part. The second part is pull out the lightsaber. And the third is strike. So this is number 2. Okay, we setting up. What do we do? White to move. Peace, Mo, says Ron. Chess with Jeff says G4. G4. Just throw the sink at him. Throw the whole thing at him. G4 from Chess with Jeff. Anyone else? Queen to c2 from Grantix. e5 from Diaz. Rook to c1 from V Miles. Queen e1 from Smoking Joe. Queen e1 is an interesting one. For g3, correct. And let's go through these moves. In g4 and Queen d2, Queen a4, f4, f4. Wavy says pawn e5. So here we go. Let's talk about these moves. I made none of those moves, guys. None of those. So let me show you what happens in all these lines. Let's start with the first move. Queen e1, right? Well, Queen e1 is not the first one. It's actually g4. G4, maybe. It's too much right now. It's too much. G4 is just not ready yet. I actually think it can be played. I just didn't go for it. I think it's a little bit too slow. It's aggressive, slow. It's like aggressive, but very slow, because it's still going to take some time to get in there. What's another one? Queen d2. Queen d2, I don't have a follow-up move after that. I'm just putting the queen kind of on d2. I don't really know what else to do. I need to follow up. Queen a4, playing on the wrong side of the board. Nope, I have no intentions over here. I need to be over here. So that leads you to Queen e1, which does pretty good. But if you do Queen e1, and I do get Queen g3 in, the problem is Knight h5 a lot of times. And I have to figure out what to do with my queen. It can be hit a lot of times. But honestly, I may be okay in this position with Queen h3 and e5 being something in the air. Queen e1 is very interesting. I think Queen e1 could work. King h1, nope. H3, nope. H4, nope. Rook b1, nope. b4, no again. And also loose pieces lose games. So that's but not that I'm losing, but you know, because I do get some counterplay here myself. Very interesting position. Actually, this is not hanging. So rook's hanging. Rook's straight up hanging. So that doesn't work. But I went knight g3. Here it is, guys. Knight to g3. This is always a part of it. This is always a part of the Canty variation. You have to get the knight to g3. You have to get this knight to g3. You have knight on e2 Canty. Correct. King h1. Yeah. Knight to g3. Barely got it. Barely. Right. What's up, Tech Cambino? Welcome to the stream. Knight to g3. This move right here is one of my favorites. What it does is it unleashes the queen. In some cases, this knight may not stay here forever. So that means the e4 pawn, let's say you're ready to push, right? You're ready to push f4 and f5 at some point. And then you got 3 pawns to help you break down the center. f5 is sometimes a hole, so I can swing a knight in here and try to mate him. That can happen all the time. But this knight helps put protection on this pawn. So if I need to, I got an extra person on this. And I can move this knight if I need to. I can also play e5. Like, it feels good to play this move. So f4 also helps e5 as a strong post. So my queen can come in after kicking the knight. Knight h5, f5 can follow. We can sack, and I can draw more arrows too. So this gets ridiculous in here. Knight to g3 is very, very, very nice. I love it. The Sicilian is always teaching to play king h1 always. Yeah, that's right. King h1 always play king h1. Correct. So knight to g3, he goes knight to e8. Knight to e8 here. I was like, oh, this knight's very nice on e8. Very nice. But now guys, we got to finish this attack. Now you have to strike. The lightsaber is out. You ready? You've turned it on. Now you have to start striking. What do? White to move. Fishhead says prelude to kf32. Yes, every time. That's always the answer. f4 from Rav B, 94. D price with the arrows. Agree. Correct. F4. Unanimous, guys. Let's just get that out the way. F4. Dying to play F4 here. F4. Then he goes E5. And I was like, whoa, hold up. That can't be a move. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong. His footing is off. As we lightsaber duel here, his footing was off. I just felt it. He didn't swing with enough force with that last one. He played E5, and something was wrong. Something was wrong. The Jedi found it. We figured it out. We knew something was wrong here. So how do you finish it? How do you finish it? Not that it's over yet, but it's very close if you are precise. F5 from Diaz. D5 from V Miles. D5 from D Price. Jedi mechanic sense of disturbance in the force. Knight f5, d5, d5. So here's what's wrong with f5. f5, you're just jumping off the deep end. You might as well start a new one. Why did we do this? We have no idea. Like, what happened? I don't even know. Jumped off the deep end. Somebody get him. That's not a move. f5 does not work. But d5 first does, because I'm making a threat, opening this up, still stuff to do. He goes knight to a5. I thought his best bet was actually just going here and going for a weird pawn structure. I thought that was his only way to do it. Take e5, says Grantix. It's definitely coming. So he went knight a5. He went knight to a5. Now I went knight f5 immediately because this knight is beautiful on f5. Can't remember who said it, but there was a quote that says a knight on f4 or f5 usually can win games a lot of times. What's the time control? It's 3-0. Opponent got a knight on e8. Yes. Yes. Bishop to f6. And here I thought for a minute, guys. I thought for a minute. I remember actually sitting here and thinking, like, what do I do here? What do I do here? Because precision, guys, if you're not precise, you can let your opponent come back. They can counterattack. They can defend in a way that you could be losing after you come out of there, or you've lost the advantage and it doesn't do anything anymore. It fizzles out to a draw. You lose the game because they were able to even get an advantage from defending. So here you gotta be careful. You have to be careful, and you still have to do this correctly. Don't trade the wrong pieces and etc. Kasparov said a knight on f5 worth a pawn. Gambino. Knight f5, queen g4, knight f5, knight b5. Knight to b5 from V Miles. You can start with the lift to rook, meaning rook f3. That's interesting. I like rook f3. I like rook f3. Chess with Jeff got it right with queen to g4. I actually went queen g4 because I'm going to sit here. I'm aiming. I'm getting this piece into play. And a g6 you want to watch out for sometimes, because sometimes the check doesn't work. So I want to be able, if he does play g6, I'm still already just eyeing this and just sitting here and like chilling. I'm actually really starting to attack something. Then he played knight to c4. He's hitting my bishop, and I felt it. I felt it. I felt a disturbance in the force, as he said here. I felt something wrong. So I took here, rook takes, and then pawn takes. Now after pawn takes, what happens on d takes c5? So what do you play right here, guys? What are you supposed to play right here? Threatening to win the queen now. Yeah. Bro, how many rooks do you lift? All of them, actually. Bishop h6, all these monstrous moves. Knight h6, knight f7 from Tech Gambino. Bishop h6. So this is not the game move. He did not do this, actually. Yeah, that doesn't work, Tech Gambino. Correct. Right, but this is not what happened in the game. Here, my best moves, according to the engine, are knight to b5, rook a to d1, and rook a to c1. They don't consider anything else. And of course, that's the engine. As humans, as our human evaluation here, Bishop h6 definitely jumps out. Rook lifting is definitely a possibility. I mean, this is probably a very high candidate of mine because I'm into bringing more pieces into the attack. That's how I love to play. So like rook lifting and bringing my other rook over here for a final blow at some point. Or also even just like pressure on the third rank with mate threats everywhere because I got a rook on the third rank. So feels good as the center's locked down as well. But engine did not like it. He did not take with the pawn. He actually took with the bishop here. As he took with the bishop, he actually did walk up to the highest building he could find. And he jumped off right here. Bishop takes e5. Not a move. White to move. Where do you go? GG. Knight h6 from Jeff. Bishop d4 from Amused Bystander. I feel like I keep suggesting a good move for the next move. Never move we on. Bishop h6. No, never mind. Bishop d4. Bishop h6. Bishop f4. h4. Bishop h6. Now knight h6 is working. I knew you was going to find it, Tech Gambino. And shout out to the knight h6s in the chat. That is correct. Knight h6. I'm winning material on the spot. King h8. And now what do you do, guys? What do you actually do here? Take with the knight. It's very simple. Rook takes is an option, but if you take with the rook here, trying to be all cool, I think I think this actually does work, because knight f6 I thought I couldn't do. Maybe it was knight c7. One of these, yeah, maybe it was this move. Because then knight c7 doesn't yield anything anymore, or maybe it does. Rook takes, bring the rook over. So looking at this, let's look at it. Takes, right? Rook over, queen goes somewhere. Let's go here. Check. Like I don't get anything anymore. Like look at how crazy this is. I'm still like winning, and white is definitely the favorite here. But this is like not not like mate, like super crushing mate right now. Maybe queen d7. No, that don't work. I can just take it. Because you want to like, this is nice. Isn't this beautiful? You know, mate on the back rank. Thanks. Who was that? 100 bits from Gambiter. Thanks so much for the follow. I mean, for the follow. You already followed. Thanks for the bits, bro. Appreciate the love. Thanks. Why didn't he play g6 in response to knight h6? Because it's check. It's check. Bishop f4. Don't you have mate? Bishop f4. Oops. Where are we? Here. So bishop f4. Where would that be? Yeah, I don't see the mate. Yeah, I just don't see the mate. Back a few? You mean right here? Yeah, it's probably, I'm assuming you right here. Bishop takes, check. When the knight is still there. Bishop is good, sir. What's going on, man? Smart card. I think he means instead of knight h6. Right here, bishop h6 is not made at all because we're defending so many times. We're defending it too many times here, so it doesn't actually attack it yet. Take his bishop away from g7 so the queen can take on g7. I think that's what he means. Take his bishop away, but still, even then, the knight's still defending g7 too. The knight's here. The knight's a problem. So we have to eliminate that too. So I just said I'm going to take the material. So I went with knight takes f7. Then rook takes, knight to c7. Rook a to f. I doubled up with check. And then here we go. He's still fighting. He's still fighting. He goes right here. Bishop f6. I'm like, oh man, my rook's trapped. Oh snap, what do I do? You know, that's a good move. White's a move, folks. What do you do? This is the final blow here. Lightsaber up, cross right across your body, real quick, real fast. Turned it off before he hit the ground. Rook x f6, rook 1 x f6, he says. Rook f x f6. On g7, that's right. That's right, here it is. Rook 1 takes f6. You don't do it with this rook, right? You take it with this rook, it's wrong. Because now there's no mate, and ouch. Not that you know, you're losing. Black's still in a very bad situation, but you were winning, you know, way faster. So actually the other rook is what crushes right here. Bam. Rook takes f6. Now if we take, there's mate. And if we don't take it, if you take it with the queen, of course, that's just self-explanatory. And we win that game in nice fashion there. Now, again, from the beginning here, when you face the Owens defense, this is the Canty variation. When you face the Owens defense, this is the Canty variation. e4, b6, d4, bishop b7, I go bishop d3, nice and calmly. They go knight e6 or whatever. I go knight e2, nice and calmly. Then I go f3. They have no idea, really, that I'm about to mate them, actually. And I beat Simon Williams as well. Ginger GM. It was great. It was like one of my favorite games. Because it worked. I was like, well, you know what? This is a super test right here. If it works on him, it can work on anyone. And then won the game. And here it is. A3. And actually, let's go back. I clicked that by accident. Okay, so knight e2, knight f6, f3, c5, c3 takes, a3 and castles, knight c3, bishop e3, just to develop some more. Knight to g3, and then we follow up with the push. f4, d5, knight in. Queen g4, and the pieces just start flowing afterwards. I play the Owens and don't enjoy facing this at all. There's Jeff right there, he tells you. Probably would castle instead of f3. Yeah, most people would, or like play something else. But it's the solid setup first, and then you go and crush them. And here it is. And he goes down. And that's it. That is how you beat the Owens defense with the Canty variation.